Hello everybody and welcome to Alternative Interactions. I'm Gary. Today I want to talk about Ascension symptoms. We're all suffering from them, some of us more so than others, but I think across the realm everybody is feeling something, and it manifests in different ways for us. So because of the brain fog, which is part of what we're going through, I've actually written a little list of bullet points to remind me, because I am really struggling at the moment. I know I've noticed in a recent show that I did, talking about the Titanic, instead of saying 1913, I said 2013, and it's just brain fog and struggling really. So I want to I've got a few bullet points that we'll go through, and just to let you know that you're not alone, and we are feeling this, and to also recognise this and be more mindful of these things, because I think everything in life, if we're more aware, or it's a thing, we know it's a thing, once we have that awareness out there, we can then observe it and then look at our actions and try and understand how and why we're reacting the way we do, and try to be nicer and more loving to those around us, if possible. So here goes. Well, obviously the first one is brain fog. And I suffer from brain fog anyway. I'm dyslexic, and so when I get really tired, really tired, I've actually lost the ability to speak sometimes, and my speech becomes slurred, and it's not very pleasant for me, because I think I'm saying something, and I'm not. I'm saying something different, which really doesn't help in the situation. And some of you have noticed that on my channel and I apologise for that, but it's just the way it is, and I try and repeat myself enough times where you should at least get one piece of the information that's right. And I appreciate the comments when you ask, did you mean this or that? And that's wonderful, so thank you very much for that. But we're all suffering from brain fog, whether it be being more forgetfulness, missing appointments, not having our usual routine sorted out, and just being a little bit more there, here and there is the way I like to say it, but here and there today, and I think that's where we are. We're all a little bit here and there, and so clearly something's going on within our brains. There's possibly changes, who knows, but the brain fog is a real big one for many, and it will pass. We will get through this, but just understand that you may not be as sharp as you are normally, and accept it with graciousness and love, because there's not a lot you can do about it. I'm taking lots of vitamins and minerals, high levels of vitamin C. I've always taken black seed oil. Obviously this is not an advert for any kind of medical treatment, and I'm sure the algorithms, I have to say now that please seek any medical advice from your doctor or healthcare professional. Yeah, but fundamentally, I've been taking all the things that I take, and upping some of the things that I'm taking, and it's not helping particularly. I'm sure it is helping, but the Ascension symptoms are not necessarily a physical thing, although because we're in a physical manifestation of a body, we feel them physically. So there we go, the brain fog. A lot of us are also getting headaches, third eye, and buzzing around the head and such like. Now me personally, I don't ever have headaches, very, very rarely. And I've had, and I can't call it a headache because it's not really a headache as such, but I have had pressure or something going on up here in the third eye area for some time. a few weeks now, and it's almost like a headache constantly. But something else I've been getting, which is very, very unusual, and as you know, I had the old Barnet cut recently. And Barnet isn't somewhere in England; it's actually what we call our hair in certain areas. So I had my Barnet cut. I was getting this very, very strange sensation that I had. All I can say is nits, I guess, or things crawling around underneath the skin of my scalp. Not a painful or horrible way, but just very, very strange sensations. And I've been getting this now for the last few weeks. And people have actually stuck their hands over my head, can actually feel the energy coming off it. It actually makes their hands tingle as they put their hands over the top of my head and my crown chakra. So clearly something's going on, which is obviously giving me the brain fog, which is linked to it, and the headaches, or the headache that's been continuous. I can feel it now. And when I sit down and relax and concentrate and kind of go into a meditative state, I can really, really feel this energy above me. I mean, I can feel it now. Just above my hand now, I can actually feel the energy. Very, very strange. So some of you may be feeling those kind of symptoms as well, which is definitely not normal. And clearly the term Ascension symptoms, the Ascension or some kind of change is happening. So that's another one. Also cold-like symptoms, or not necessarily flu, but cold-like symptoms. I've certainly had more of a kind of a cold. Even though it's not a cold, I have had a cold. And I've also had achy joints at times, not particularly badly, but certainly around my neck it's been a bit more achy, and the top of my shoulders. But yeah, there is definitely cold-like symptoms going on as well. More mucus, blowing the nose a lot more in the mornings, bunged up, but then not being able to breathe fine. And also you may be experiencing that you're getting cold sores or such like. And again, this is a sign normally that the body's run down. But I actually don't feel run down. I just feel different, strange. And so for me personally, I've actually had had 2 cold sores in a row. And I think in my lifetime I've had 4 in my entire life. So to get one after the other is a very, very rare and strange thing for me, and completely out of the ordinary. So clearly the changes in my body are having a very profound effect. And like I say, trying to support it with good quality food, healthy nutritional food, and supplements. That's all we can do. I asked the pendulum about this, and that's what it just said to do. There's no help. There's nothing it can do or suggest that would be of benefit fundamentally. So there we go. So yeah, I've covered the ankle bones and the joints. My eyes. Now I obviously wear glasses. In the mornings I'll put my glasses on, and I will have real trouble focusing. I actually have 2 pairs exactly the same, one for reading and one for driving. So obviously when I'm at the computer, it looks like I've got the same set of glasses on regardless, to driving or my general walking around, because I'm so short-sighted. And obviously when you get to a certain age, the short-sightedness you get short-sighted on the short-sightedness, as well as not being able to see much beyond the end of my arm. So that's a real double whammy. Joys of getting old, eh? But my eyes have been very, very strange recently. Sometimes it takes me a little while to get used to the glasses before my eyes will refocus into them. And I've also had pains or tingling sensations around my eye sockets, particularly this and my cheeks. It's almost felt as if they're being puffy or blown up. So there's obviously something going on there. But if you're having trouble with your eyes at the moment as well, particularly in the morning when you wake up, there's obviously, that's, I think, part of what we're going through. And then we go on to the sleep. And although I've been sleeping, I don't feel like I've been sleeping. I had a much better night's sleep last night, but I woke up not feeling like I had particularly, even though I knew I had. A good 8 hours I'd had, and slept very well, but I didn't feel it, and I haven't felt like that for some weeks. And some nights sleeping or getting off to sleep has been difficult, or I've been waking up in the early hours with my brain racing, which is not that common for me necessarily, unless there's something going on. But my brain's racing with nothing particularly going on. It's just like a buzzy type sensation, almost. So clearly our sleep patterns and our ability to sleep well at the moment are completely up the chute, as they would say. And so be mindful of that, perhaps cat naps, but don't sleep too much during the day, because I always find myself personally that a 10 or 15, 20 minute little cat nap will often set me up if I'm really feeling it. But if I sleep more than an hour or two, I won't sleep that night. So for me, I might sometimes have a cat nap for 10 or 15 minutes or half hour, but I don't do any more than that. But obviously, you know your body, you know how you work best. So be kind to yourself, love yourself, and try and get as much rest at the times that you can, and look after yourself in that respect. The other one that we're getting is a bit more heightened sensitivity at times. Energetically wise, I'm talking here now. Some days the energies I can feel off people are through the roof, and almost repellent. I've actually felt that as well watching some YouTubers that I've been watching for years. And so at the moment I'm avoiding them because I am struggling with their energy coming through, and I don't normally. But I'm getting to the stage where I'm almost getting not anxious, that's the wrong word, but tetchy with it, like I can feel what's coming, I can see what's kind of coming, I can feel the energy, and it's really not very pleasant. So again, that we're getting certain things are coming up, but that's not every day. And some days I can watch stuff and it's just normal how I used to be before, and other days it's not. So great. But something else I've noticed at times as well is slightly shorter tempered, and I generally am quite a chilled out guy, but I have noticed that I'm less tolerant at the moment, which kind of goes into, I think, the energies that I'm feeling, and potentially easier to snap. Now the fact that I'm aware of this means that I'm biting my tongue and saying, it's you, Gary, stop it, stop being silly, it's you, calm down. But again, being mindful of this, I think, is very key to not upsetting those loved ones around us and ourselves, because when we get upset and heightened, then that changes our physiology. That's a big word, I put my teeth in, but it changes how our body reacts and acts. And at the moment, I think the more meditative, mindful and chilled out that we can be over this process, I think the easier that we're going to find this process. You can fight and push against something, but actually at the moment I think you just need to go with the flow and accept what's going on with love and graciousness. So there we go. Now obviously with my pendulum, last night I was like, I had enough of this. How much longer? And obviously the pendulum or tarot cards can't give you a time scale, because time is a human concept. It's part of our slave process and control mechanism that has been placed upon us in this realm. I mean, I'm pretty sure a bird doesn't fly around with a watch on its wrist worrying about what the time is, nor does a fox, nor does a bear, nor does a badger, nor does a fish. You know, we're the only ones that have time constraints. But I did ask, and I've been feeling like this for about two and a half weeks now, couple of weeks at least. And I asked the pendulum, you know, am I 50% the way through? And as soon as I asked the question, I got a big no in my head, let alone the pendulum swinging saying no, definitely not. And eventually I got to 25%. So we're about a quarter of the way through what we're going through currently. And that's, yeah, so we could actually have another 6 weeks of this or so. Now, obviously, time-wise, everyone's different. Everything is different. But I think we've got a period now where we're going through this change. I also think it's connected to the time wave split, the Chris code and Fibonacci sequence split that I've demonstrated in the previous videos, and also I talked about it with Meten and Plutonic planes. And by the way, we have another live coming up on Friday with that. Not sure what time yet currently, possibly around 8:30 UK time, maybe 9 o'clock. But I'm also aware that the clocks have gone forward, I think in Canada or in America, but not in the UK, because why would they? So please check your times. With brain fog and everything else going on, it's going to be very easy to but we'll be doing a second deep dive into the time wave split, Metatron's cube, the 7 planets, and potentially what's coming up, and maybe the great period of Giza and how that all fits in. But we'll see where the conversation goes, because I know Meten has got his own ideas as well on certain things, and often he'll come up with some piece of genius that will take us into a different direction, and we go with the flow, which is great. So yeah, that's really where we are at the moment. We shall see what's going on and how we're going, but please love yourselves, look after yourselves, and care for yourselves during this period. Like I say, the pendulum indicates that it could be going on for some more time, and it kind of makes sense, because I think the changes we are going through are drastically huge, not seen before for potentially thousands and thousands of years, possibly around 25,000 years. So we really are changing into something completely different, a different potentially vibrational frequency or timeline or density, whichever way your language and you want to say these things, you know, whether you like to say we're going from the 3rd to the 4th or the 3rd to the 5th, or whichever way it is that resonates with you, that's fine. It makes no difference. But there is definitely something going on in the change, and I think for us to be able to thrive the way that we should be, this change, this evolutionary change almost within us of the Ascension symptoms is needed for the wonderful, amazing future that we're going to have, and we really are. So I'm now starting to babble, so I shall leave it there. So thank you very much, and blessings to everybody. Look after yourselves, and please like, share and subscribe, and I shall catch up with you soon. Bye.